All right, we're here. We are live. It is Thursday night. It's about 9 o'clock here in the Eastern time zone, which means we just wrapped up Mastery Chat. And what a chat it was. On fire again tonight. Great topic. Just a lot of energy in there. I'm excited. I got Brad Hughes with me, who is just part of the family at this point. But led us in tonight's chat. Brad, how you feeling right now, man?
I'm feeling great. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to come together as a part of the Teach Better family, and just the caliber of the chat tonight was just outstanding. Just people were real, people were honest, people were heart led, and there was just so much mutual support. Just so glad to be a part of it, Jeff.
I love it. We got a big let's go from your Canadian brother up there, Che. And let's see, I see Lindsay's here. I see Maggie's here. I see Carly's here. I've been really excited about the fact that Carly Spina has been in a lot of our lives recently. Carly, you're making me smile a lot. I appreciate that. If you are chiming in with us, I see a lot of people watching, not enough people commenting or giving us some hearts and some likes. So show some love for Brad with that. If you're watching with us tonight, make sure you're chiming in the comments and letting us know where you're at. What are you watching on? Because we're on Facebook, both on our page and on our private group. We're on Twitter via Periscope. We're on YouTube, and we were on Twitch. So lots of stuff going on there, and people watching all over the place like that. So, Brad, I want to get into your head and chat with you about the chat and connect with everyone who's chiming in here and stuff too. Is that Kristen? What's up, Kristen? I haven't seen Kristen Nan forever. So glad to see you here. And if I'm looking this way, I apologize. I'm looking at another screen so I can see you guys that are in the private group, because your Facebook doesn't show you in my screen here. So I'm not ignoring Brad. I promise you. I'm just looking over there for all of you. So Brad, the topic tonight was returning to school, moving from fear to hope. First off, really, really relevant. I think spot on as far as topic and time, and I think everyone was feeling a lot of that conversation. But when you were putting the questions together and going through this, what was kind of going through your head? What were you hoping that you were going to like? What were you hoping to engage people in tonight? And then what were you hoping that they were going to walk away from after being a part of this chat?
I really wanted folks to really recognize that we are the strategy. I mean, we have everything that we need to find out how to improve our own lives and improve the lives of those around us. And we're in a hopefully once in a lifetime, never before happened situation where we're called to be our best. We're called to do our best. We're called to challenges that we've never, ever experienced as educators and as community members. And part of that for me is recognizing that, when I was feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, even desperate about, what's it going to take to make sure that things are going to be okay here back at school, that became my vision, is a vision of restoring our school as a place of safety, just like it was before the pandemic. And then recognize that in order to do that, I had to help myself move from a place of fear, anxiety, doubt to hope. And so that began with me. The whole conversation tonight was sparked by an article that a principal colleague here in my district shared, and I shared the link back in the chat, so you could find that there. And it's for everyone. It's not just for school leaders or leaders of organizations. It's for everyone. And I truly believe that leadership is for everyone. Leadership is simply modeling behaviors that inspire and encourage others to do the same thing. And so my hope for tonight was to bring amazing people together, which truly happened, and to help everyone realize that the strategies and the greatness is within them, but it begins with ourselves.
Ma'am, Brad, every time you are on, or every time I just hear you speak or type, I don't know, hear you type, see you type, you drop these one-liners and these little things that just I had to type it on there, and then I was waiting for you, Lindsay, to grab that too. I love that we are the strategy. I think that is incredible. And what you were trying to do, I think, just makes so much sense, and I appreciate that. And I love where it came from. That is fantastic. Before I dive further, I should have done this at the beginning. I'm going to do it now. For anybody who's maybe connected, I know we had at least someone in here say they couldn't make the chat, but they love coming here because they still get that stuff. For anybody who maybe has not been connected with you, or maybe they just connected with you tonight because of the chat, Can you give us the lowdown on Brad Hughes? Where you at? What's your role in education? And then how did you get connected with the team in Mastery Chat and this family?
Actually, one of the questions had to do with the strategies and the strengths that we've discovered in ourselves and in our kids as a result of the pandemic. And I discovered Teach Better Team shortly after our school closure. I was looking for ways to improve my practice, to keep my head in the game, and really it began as a search for strategies to support my staff with distance learning. And it became especially meaningful for me as I began to make more and more personal connections with the Teach Better team through Mastery Chat, through the admin mastermind, and just what continues to strike me with every single person that I've come in contact with, either through video or Twitter or messaging, is just the sincerity, the authenticity, the desire to give and better ourselves so we can better outcomes for our kids. So I'm a elementary school principal, and my school is Forest Hill Public School in Kitchener, Ontario. Kitchener is about 70 or 80 minutes west of Toronto. I'm in a region of about 500,000 people, and I've been in education for 25 years. This is my silver anniversary year, and I've been a school administrator. This is my 9th year. So education has given so much to me, both as a student and as an educator. And it was the school closure and the opportunity to interact more and more with people on Twitter and with Teach Better Team that made me realize a couple of things. And it was Jeffrey Prickett. I heard Jeffrey Prickett's podcast, and he said, I'm turning 50 this year, and he felt that he really had still much to learn, but much to offer. And that really resonated with me. And I reached back to Jeff, and I'm in exactly the same place. I turned 50 this year in December, and all along in education, I've been just soaking up knowledge, expertise, and influence from others. And I really feel that I'm at a point where it's both energizing, and it's almost it's just a personal quest to give back, to share what I know. I believe that I do have a voice, and who I am and what I do is a product of the influence of so many others that, the expression, you stand on the shoulders of giants, and I truly do. And so that's me. That's me here in Ontario, Canada.
I love it. And it's been so awesome having you as part of the family here. And I'm telling you, it feels like you've been around a lot longer than just the start of, March, April there. Do you remember what your first connection with us was? Was it the Master Chat, or was it the Admin Mastermind? Was it Master Chat first?
I was trying to remember, Jeff, because I knew you'd ask me, and
I'm always curious. I'm like, how do we?
It's great. No, I can't remember. I think it was Admin Mastermind. Okay. And then once I kind of dove into the network, the Teach Better Team network, I was able both to grow my own practice and to grow my own leadership skills through connecting with others, grow my PLN, and I was always looking at, especially as our teachers transition from in-person to distance learning. I was really interested in the grid method, and especially monitoring student progress, especially at a distance. So it was a win-win. I mean, I grew and continue to grow, and I was able to suggest a lot of resources that my staff could benefit from.
Love it. What's up, Livia? Livia's here. We've got Busan as a student teacher in Massachusetts. Has been such an uplifting conversation. Thank you both. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of it. Continue to reach out to the Master Chat family, the Teach Better family, to help you as you can continue to be and getting into your practice. We're here for you. So, Brad, let me ask you this: of all the questions as you were doing it, was there a single question that when you put it together, or maybe it was just tonight, but when you were looking at it and you were excited about a particular question, either because you were either curious to see which way it goes, or just it was the question that you were really burning inside to try and find the answer to? Was there a particular question that you can think of that was that question for you tonight?
Really, there wasn't any single question. I tried to build the chat from beginning with ourselves and then leading to the influence that we have on others, and all of it is for the good of kids. I mean, the more that we the more that we recognize the stresses that all of us as educators and individuals and family members and community members is under and has been under, the greater we grow our empathy to the real struggles and the real traumas that our kids and families have been facing, especially with school closure. And for so many of us, we know that our schools are community hubs. And as we talked about earlier, Jeff, they were places of safety, physical safety, emotional safety. They were places of safety for both kids and adults in our community. And recognizing that the return to school for all of us, educators, administrators, support staff, everyone returning to our school is going to have experienced something a little bit different, but certainly no more or less traumatic than anyone else. And the goal of the chat was just to celebrate the power that we have as educators to restore our schools as places of safety, to build empathy for those that are returning to school, and that love was just evident in the chat. And
I was about to ask, do you think we accomplished that? Because I sure felt like it.
Incredible. And I was so grateful too that, I mean, there were so many of the responses where people felt, I mean, we may never have met and we're sort of interacting on a Twitter stream, but people just felt safe to be vulnerable. And some of our commentators observed they continue to struggle with anxiety, apprehension. They're learning to grow their stress response toolboxes, and that's key. And one of the questions, comes from my learning from Self-Reg and Dr. Stuart Schenker, Dr. Susan Hopkins, who's actually, it's Dr. Hopkins' phrase, "You are the strategy," and so that reflects my learning through Self-Reg. But allowing all of us to recognize the stressors in our lives that may be spoken or unspoken, they may be conscious or unconscious. Once we begin to recognize those, and one of the commentators said, I can actually feel it. I can feel it in my gut, feel it in my bones. And once you recognize that, then that cues you, that empowers you to draw on your coping strategies, on your stress reduction strategies. And when you do that, you actually cue and signal calm and reassurance to others. And it happens on an unconscious level that maybe none of us are aware of, but it certainly happens. The work of Dr. Stephen Porges on neuroplasticity and then polyvagal theory. The theory is that all of us, even you and I, Jeff, or you, us, and those that are watching on the screen, we're connected on an unconscious level, at an unconscious level, both emotional and awareness. And we can actually influence the well-being of others just by how we find and share our own calm.
I love that. So let's was there, and I know the overall feel that you just kind of went into was definitely there, but were there any themes, any tweets, any answers that either maybe took you by surprise or got you really excited in a particular pace, or maybe made you think something different than you had before going in? Any tweet, and I don't expect you to necessarily remember who tweeted it in the word for word, but any particular tweet or answer, or maybe just a theme of answers that really stuck out to you tonight?
Yeah, one of the themes that really stuck out had to do with our personal resources, and being present, being truly present with our students and colleagues, recognizing that we have the power to not only model the way, but we also have the opportunity to be vulnerable with our own stresses, our own fears, our own experiences, and that empathy truly resonates. And one of our commenters just really struck me in terms of the sense of leading with love. And when I think of leading with love as a school leader, I think of making love flow out of how I lead, but I think also leading with love, that is putting love out there first. That's what you lead with. I love you. You're amazing. You're awesome. We've got this. And that thread was, it wasn't a thread that I put out there in the questioning, but it certainly is a thread that resonated with people and resonated back to me as the moderator.
Yeah, I love it. Just a great chat. I think so needed right now with where everyone is. This chat just hit everyone how it needed to. I'm going to throw a couple questions, your own questions, at you, and I know we already answered them in the the chat, but I always say every week, like one of my favorite parts about mastering chat is that you and I are both in there, but we had two very different experiences because
For sure.
there's so much going on. You get these different things. So I think I saw your answer to question 1 and maybe 4, but I didn't see them all because it just goes and goes. So I like to throw it at you. And then now you're live. You get to go. You're not limited by character count here. So you can go. So let me. I wanted to pull it off here. So let's see here. You've talked about some of this already, so I'm trying to get you on another roll here.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have you wrap it up with question 7. So hope is a wish plus a plan. What is something within your sphere of influence that can move yourself or others from a place of fear to hope? What was your answer to that one?
I think it's just trying to be real clear that we're not alone, that we're in it together. And moving from fear to hope begins with, recognizing the fears and just naming them. Naming is so powerful. And some of our behavior experts and Lindsay Titus may even say, you name it to tame it. Once you name the fears, once you label them, you can begin to address them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our behaviors, as adults, as educators, a lot of the behaviors that we see in the kids that we serve are driven by stress, fear, and anxiety. Often, and I saw in the Twitter chat, people acknowledge that there are times when you lose it. There are times when you behave in ways that you wish you hadn't later. And we just have to be so graceful, and we have to be so forgiving of ourselves and others. We have to look past the surface on what we say and how we behave, and we have to look deeper. And one of the commentators said, about herself, I think it was why. I mean, let's take a look at the why. Why is this happening, and why now? And these are tremendously powerful questions if we're faced with a kid in turmoil, or a colleague who's in tears, or someone maybe who is just speechless and sort of immobilized. It's, why and why now, and how can I help reduce the stresses that might be barriers to you? And that begins with yourself. Is it just lots of great ideas, lots of great stress reduction tips and tools in everyone's toolbox. And so moving from fear to hope again, it for me, it returns to that vision. If I can envision my life is better, as if I can envision my influence on my teachers and educators, so that they can influence the lives of the kids, and again, restoring our school as a place that everyone looks forward to coming and feels glad, even for a small reason, when they leave for the end of the day, and look forward to coming the next day. That goes for our kids and educators, any adult in the building. We want to make sure that this becomes and stays a place of hope.
Brad, I love it. I love having you on, just chatting with you. And so I always joke that with Chad, we joke with Chad that we just put a quarter in and let him go. I feel like I can do that with you too. I just kind of put a quarter in. I'm just like, just go, Brad. I do the same. Lindsay Titus is the same way, but I know if I just do that, you're just gonna go, because you have so much experience, you have so much knowledge, and I'm gonna make you blush for a second, and so much value. But you also have such a way of articulating what you're trying to say, that I think it just really resonates with people. And I really, really appreciate it about you. Just your calm is always there. And I noticed that when on the admin mastermind and stuff like that, your calm's already there, even if we're discussing a really challenging subject or a frustrating subject, or you claim to have a frustrating day, your calm is still there. So I love the fact that you really do live out, trying to find your calm, and that helps spread in other people. So I really like that. And I want to give Lindsay, says all the time, you touched on it there too, about behavior and the kids and ourselves. Lindsay always says, there is no good or bad behavior. There's just behavior, right? And then you dug into that why. So why is this happening? What is not? She mentioned the needs that are not met. Well, it's the same thing inside ourselves. Let's start with ourselves, and then we can meet the needs of other people and stuff. And I just thought that was great. I just a great chat. Fantastic wrap up here. Appreciate everyone who chimed in. I'm going to do what I always do, which is I have to go look at my calendar because I never remember who's leading the chat next week. But we will be back next week. So let's see here. It's the 8th. Who do we got? We got Victor Tam leading us next week. So he's at Principal Tam. You want to be here for that one for sure. I'm going to be live again tomorrow morning around, I think, at 10 o'clock Eastern time with Chad again. Talking about the brand new course that has dropped today, which is the free course, by the way, Student Progress Monitoring. And I'm going to make Chad get a little deeper today and kind of take us through one of the modules, I think. So it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow morning. So hope you join us there to be back with us next week on Mastery Chat, same time, 8 o'clock Eastern over on Twitter. And then just a little bit after the chat around 9 o'clock Eastern here with Victor. And I'm not sure who's going live with him, but someone will be here. So appreciate everyone who was in the chat, all you guys that are still commenting here and still saying hello and talking about how awesome Brad is and the chat was today. So appreciate all of you commenting and sharing the love wherever you're at, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube. Brad, appreciate your time, just your sincerity all the time, and appreciate just being connected with you, man. Really do. Everyone else, I appreciate you as well. So we'll see you again. I'll see you in the morning, and we'll see you next week. Appreciate you.